Hello, class 12th student. Today again I am going to start chapter 3rd. Topic is liberalization, privatization and globalization. This is part 7. In this video we are going to discuss about World Trade Organization and what we gain from the new economic policy, the demerit and merits of new economic policy. And in this way this chapter is going to be over. Okay, so World Trade Organization, already you had learned about this in your 10th class also. Okay, so first of all, origin of World Trade Organization. Prior to WTO, General Agreement on Trade and Tariff was established as Global Trade Organization in 1948 with 23 countries. This time in the board examination, this question has been asked. Okay, so what is the prior organization of WTO? So that is General Agreement on Trade and Tariff, GATT. Okay, so there are actually three questions. What is the full form of GATT? Okay, when it was established, how many countries were that time, its member, and which organization is prior of WTO. Okay, now GATT was set up to administrate all multilateral trade agreements by providing equal opportunity to all countries in international market. So this is the goal or objective for establishing GATT. तो गेट किस लिए इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था? सो दैट एवरी ऑल कंट्री आर एबल टू डू trade and going to get equal opportunity. Means trade is going to be beneficial for every country. It is developing country or it is developed country or it is underdeveloping country. Okay, so GATT is going to monitor international trade market in this way that every economy is going to benefit from this international trade, buying and purchasing. Okay, so next is WTO was founded in 1995 as the successor organization to the GATT. Okay, as a successor organization of GATT. So again this is the question. So what which organization is the successor organization of GATT? So WTO. What is the full form of WTO? World Trade Organization. When WTO was established? So in 1995, and this is the logo of WTO. Okay, this is the logo of WTO. So keep in your mind. Okay, so the World Trade Organization intends to supervise and liberalize international trade. So this is the logo of WTO. Okay, student. Now here are given some fact about WTO. WTO agreements cover trade in goods as well as in service to facilitate international trade. So again it's also the work of WTO is also to facilitate international trade. Means international trade is going to give benefit to each country. It is developing country or it is underdeveloped country or it is a developed country. Okay, so first thing is that the same like a GATT. Okay, GATT is also established so that all country is able to get equal opportunity and get benefit from international trade. So same, the first objective is same. Okay, next is at the present there are 159 member country of WTO, and all the member are required to abide by law and policies framed under WTO. Okay, remember this number whenever you are going to give the examination, check it. Okay, on your Google search the number because it changes. Okay, now as important member of WTO, India has been is forefront of framing fair global rule, regulation and advocating interest of the developing world. Okay, so here is given that ki India is the starting member, is a founder member. Okay, and it is going to represent developing country. Okay, next is given India has kept its commitment made to the WTO. India has taken reasonable a step to liberalize trade by removing quantitative restrictions on import and reducing tariff rates. Okay, बेसिकली WTO वॉज इस्टेब्लिश, सो इसलिए इस्टेब्लिश किया गया था ताकि हम जो वर्ल्ड ट्रेड है उसको लिबरलाइज कर सके और उसको पूरी इकॉनमी को हम ग्लोबलाइज कर सके, ठीक है, और सारी कंट्री ट्रेड करे, कोई रिस्ट्रिक्शंस नहीं हो. तो बेसिकली दैट इज़ द एम ऑफ WTO. WTO was established in 1995 so that international trade can be liberalized, okay, and this organization is going to supervise it, okay. There will be no restriction in any country, there will be less restrictions, and there will be no import taxes, tariff, okay. So this is for WTO. So I think this page is very very important, okay. There are so many questions regarding 1 marks. Now next, some more major function of WTO. So basic function is what? To facilitate all the member countries, okay, and to liberalize, to make all economy, open up economy, so that every economy can get benefit from world trade, okay. So these are the basic function of the WTO. Now more function. So here is given to facilitate international trade through removal of tariff as well as non-tariff barriers. So remember it, this is very important question for your 3 marks or 4 marks or 6 marks, okay. It is very very important this time from my side. So first function is what? To facilitate international trade. How you are going to make easier? By removal of tariff means tax, import tax, export tax, okay, and non-tariff barriers means quantitative restriction, how many number of good can be exported or imported. Before the establishment of WTO, every country decided, but after establishment of WTO, the WTO have this aim that there will be no restriction, okay. Now next is to establish rule based trading regime in which nations cannot place arbitrary restriction on trade, okay. So rule is for everyone, okay, and every member country have to adopt it, okay, so that every economy is going to get benefit from the international trade. That is written here, okay. No one is going to make any rule or regulation itself without concerning WTO, okay. So whatever rule and regulation are formulated by WTO, it have to adopt every economy that is the member of WTO. Next is given to enlarge production and trade of services, okay. This is very important. If you talk about GET, so that is not so important, but now in modern era, service sector is very very important. If you talk about India, so in service sector there are too much growth. We are leading country in outsourcing, we are leading country in software development, okay. So for encouraging service sector, WTO is going to give you that atmosphere. So this is the function of to enlarge production and trade of services. Next is to ensure optimum utilization of world resources, okay. When we talk about WTO, so WTO is related to liberalization, okay. And when we talk about liberalization, it's mean we are talking about privatization. And whenever there is liberalization and in result there is privatization, so because of these two there will be globalization, okay. Remember that liberalization and privatization, its result is globalization, okay. So after establishment of WTO, okay, we think more about world economy, whole economy, all economy, integration of all economy, okay. So it is the main target of WTO ki we are able to utilize world resources. Here not we are talking about any कंट्री। ओके, हम पूरी पूरी दुनिया की बात कर रहे हैं, पूरी दुनिया के रिसोर्सेज को हम बेस्ट वे से यूज़ करें ताकि पूरी दुनिया से हम पॉवर्टी एलिमिनेट कर सके, लाइफ स्टैंडर्ड हाई कर सके। ओके, तो दैट इज़ द टारगेट ऑफ WTO. Now, next is to protect the environment. Obviously, whenever we are going to talk about optimum utilization of world resources, so whenever we are doing the production, so obviously in result there will be environmental degradation. Okay, जो life quality होती है environment की, it is going to decrease. So this is the another and most important work of WTO to protect environment. So that is why there is concept of sustainable development. Okay, there is concept of sustainable development. Okay, sustainable development already you had learned in 10th class also, and you are going to learn it in your further chapter. Okay, so to protect environment means we are going to do production and we are going to exploit resources in such a way that it is available, it is going to also available for our future या upcoming generation. Okay, हम उसका rational utilization करेंगे, rational. Okay, so these are the basic function of the WTO. Now next, should India be a member of WTO? तो there is question कि क्या इंडिया को WTO का member होना चाहिए? तो let me understand it. Some scholar of the view that there is no use for a developing country like India to be member of WTO. So according to these scholars, first reason they are giving that कि India should not be the member of WTO. तो first they had given the fact is that कि major volume of international trade occurs among the developed countries. So according to them, mostly work of sale of goods and services is done by the developing countries. So there is India is not going to get benefit. Okay, next they have given that developing countries are being cheated as they are forced to open their market for developed country and they are not allowed to access to the market of developing country. It is very very important fact, and every time every meet India have this point. Okay, every developing economy, because developing economy require loan for their development. Okay, इंडिया हो चाहे कोई भी डेवलपिंग इकोनॉमी हो, उन्हें इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट करना होता है जिसके लिए उन्हें ह्यूज अमाउंट में इन्वेस्टमेंट करना होता है. ओके, और जिसके लिए उन्हें लोन चाहिए, तो दे complete this requirement of loan with the help of the WTO, IMF. Okay, and they provide these loan on this condition that they are going to open up their economy, means they are going to be liberal, they are going to promote privatization. Okay, so because of this mostly all developing country has opened up their economy. Okay, but on the other side if you talk about the developing country, so they have not opened their economy. Okay, so this is major fact. This is why here is written कि here developing country are cheated. Why? Because all developing country has opened their economy because they want to get the loan, so they have to open up, and it is their drawback, they are not having this much money in their economy, so they have to borrow money from developed country, from WTO, from International Monetary Fund, so they provide loan, but this is the condition कि you have to open up your economy. On the other hand, developed country they don't require this type of loan, so they can formulate their policy on their own way. So that is the result. Okay, now there are given some important terms that is used in this chapter again and again, so we are going to get explanation, and these are very very important for 1 marks question. Okay, so first is bilateral. Bi का मतलब two. If you talk about the bi, so its meaning it's two. So when there is trade between two countries, this is known as a bilateral trade. So I think with the help of the name you are able to understand. Bi means two. So bilateral trade means when there are trade between two countries. Okay, multilateral. So when there are more than two countries, more than two. So that is known as a multilateral trade. Now tariff barrier. Tariff means, always remember, tariff means tax. What is tax? So whenever their tax is imposed, so that is taken as a tariff barrier. So what is written here? So the barrier which are imposed on import, the barrier which are imposed on import to make relatively costly and to protect domestic production are known as a tariff barrier. Okay, so whenever tax are imposed, uh, okay, 1 minute, when taxes are imposed on imported goods, so this is known as a tariff barrier. So I think it is very easy now. When tax are imposed on imported goods, that is considered as a tariff barrier. Okay, now non-tariff barrier, so means we are not talking about the tariff, other tools that used, yeah, other way. So here what is going to be done? Here number of item, amount is going to be fixed by the government. How many units can be sold outside the country, how many item foreigner can sold in the country. Okay, means number of item exported, number of item imported are fixed by the government. So this is considered as a non-tariff barriers. Quantitative restriction is, it is related to quantitative restriction, it is related to tax. Okay, now next, this is the last topic of this chapter, an appraisal of LPG policy, means new economic policy. Here we are going to discuss about how new economic policy is going to give benefit to our economy and what are the drawback of this new economic policy. One thing remember, we had not adopted this policy because we have accepted this policy, new economic policy, LPG, in place of LPQ, because we want $7 billion as a loan from WTO and International Monetary Fund. So they had told that ki we will give you this much money as a loan, but there is one condition, you have to open up your economy. So for that you have to adopt the policy of liberalization, privatization and globalization. So after accepting this policy, what we have achieved and what we have lose, we are going to discuss here. Okay, so first, what is given in favor of, means what we gain from this new economic policy. First is increase in rate of economic growth. So here it is written कि if you talk about 80 to 91, the growth rate is 5.6, but if you talk about 1992 to 2001, it is 6.1. so there is increase in economic growth. But there is one thing is given कि the growth is only related to service sector. Okay, if you talk about the during the reform period, the growth of agriculture and industrial sector has declined. There is only growth in service sector. Okay, next, inflow of foreign investment. So FII, there is increase in FII. So here is written, opening up of the economy has lead to rapid increase in foreign direct investment. The foreign investment and foreign institutional investment has increased from $100 million to 150 billion. Here is million and here is now billion in 2003 to 4. So there are too much increase, huge increase. Next is rise in foreign exchange reserve. Obviously जब आपका इनफ्लो बढ़ेगा, फॉरेन एक्सचेंज का इनफ्लो बढ़ेगा, तो ऑब्वियसली एक्सचेंज रिजर्व क्या होने वाला है, इंक्रीज करने वाला है. तो दैट इज गिवन हियर. Okay, foreign exchange reserve reached the level of $25,186 million at the end of the March 1995 as compared to 3,960 million in 1989 to 90. It is now more, its amount has too much increase. Here is given a 2,91,300 million. So this is the real benefit that we get from the new economic policy. First, increase in growth rate. Second, inflow of foreign exchange. Next, foreign exchange reserve has increased. So just remember the data. Okay. Next, rise in export. So obviously many time I had told you ki our service sector uh, has changed a lot. There is too much increase. Growth rate of service sector has tremendously increased. Okay, and we are leading country in IT sector, in software development, banking facility, insurance facility. So these are too much increase in these sector. Okay, so there is given that is rise in export. During the reform period, India experienced considerable increase in export of auto parts, engineering goods, IT software, and textile. So remember these term. Okay, next, control on inflation. So here is given in if you talk about when we are adopting LPQ, yani license permit quota. So what is the inflation rate? 17%, means price of mostly the average price has increased by 17%. But if you talk about 2012 to 13, inflation rate is 7.6. So there is too much decrease. Okay, next is increase in the role of private sector. Obviously after adopting the policy of liberalization, privatization, and globalization, so these liberal means there is no restriction, no tariff, no uh, quota. So no tariff, no quota means liberalization. Okay, when there is no tariff, no quota, and next is no license, so it's mean there will be private sector. Who is going to play the leading role? Private sector. So that is given here. Okay, so private sector, abolition of licensing system and removal of restriction on the entry of the private sector. So because of that, area of operation of private sector has increased a lot. Okay, now negative point. So because of that, what things in which field we have to suffer, so that is given here. Criticism of economic reform. So first is growing unemployment. So it is very very important topic. During the COVID-19 there are too much unemployment. Okay, 27% unemployment rate has increased. So there are huge problem if you talk about today, but we are talking about the new economic policy. So obviously which type of growth we are having? Jobless growth. You can learn this word, jobless growth. Remember this. If you write in your examination and underline this term, so you are going to get full marks. Okay student, so which type of growth we are having? Jobless growth. Why we are having jobless growth? Because we are using capital intensive technology. So already we had learned in your 11th class what is capital intensive technology. More use of capital and less use of labor. So this is because we are having growing unemployment. Okay, because of using capital intensive technology, so there are less job opportunity created. Okay, next is given neglection of agriculture. So obviously if we talk about our first planning, so there are too much importance is given to agriculture. If we have introduced green revolution, because of that we are self sufficient in the field of food production. But if we talk about after 1991, so government and private sector, none has given any importance to agriculture sector. So that is we are going to discuss here. This is the major drawbacks of new economic policy. There is neglection of agriculture. Still agriculture is backbone if you talk about employment creation. Okay, but it is neglected by the government. So we are going to discuss here, and it is very very important question. It can be asked in 3 marks. Okay, so remember it. So what is written here? The new economic policy has neglected the agriculture sector as compared to industry, trade and service sector. Means industry and service sector has been given importance, but agriculture sector, it is neglected by the government. Okay, so how it is neglected? पहली बात, reduction of public investment. government has done very less investment. Okay, there is less investment. uh, it include irrigation, power, road, market, linkage, and research and extension. So there is less investment done by the government. So because of that, if you are not having proper infrastructure, so obviously there will be less development. Next is removal of subsidy. Because of new economic policy, we have to reduce subsidies on fertilizer. Okay, so because of that, now HYV technology become expensive, so it is only good for richer. Okay, richer farmers are big farmers. So, and you know, in India, भारत में बेसिकली आज भी जो मार्जिनल और मार्जिनल फार्मर्स ज़्यादा है, स्मॉल और मार्जिनल फार्मर ज़्यादा है, तो ऑब्वियसली रिमूवल ऑफ सब्सिडी की वजह से उन वो न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ नहीं कर पा रहे, फर्टिलाइज़र, दे कैन नॉट यूज़ फर्टिलाइज़र. So result is that it is going to adversely affect the condition of agriculture. Next is liberalization and reduction in import duty. So because of liberalization and reduction in import duty, now they have to compete with international trader. So it is one more drawback. One side you had reduces subsidies. Okay, so now only big farmers is able to use new technology, and another side our economy has opened up, so farmer have to compete with world class international trader. Okay, developed countries, they are using new technology. Okay, next is shift toward cash crop. Okay. One more thing is that कि cash crops is going to give you more money, like jute, indigo, coffee, tea, flower, fruits, horticulture. So these are given now more importance. So result is that कि they more, suppose there is this land, so in all over land there is produce wheat or rice like staple food. But now suppose on this field, okay, suppose on this field now there is production is done of cash crop, so obviously food grains is less available, and in this way the price of food grains had increased. That is written here. Okay, uh, next is low level of industrial growth. Okay, इफ़ यू टॉक अबाउट न्यू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी, सो हमारी इकॉनमी फ्री हो गई. अभी कोई भी डेवलप कंट्री आके अपने प्रोडक्ट को सेल कर सकता है, और आज आप ऑनलाइन सर्विस भी अवेलेबल है. सो ऑब्वियसली जो इंडियन ट्रेडर्स है, दे आर नॉट हैविंग सच टेक्नोलॉजी, दे आर नॉट एबल टू प्रोड्यूस गुड्स एट अ लो प्राइस. ओके, सो नाउ द कंज्यूमर इज गोइंग टू परचेज दोज थिंग्स दैट इज available at a less price. So obviously it is going to give benefit to developed country traders, not Indian traders. Okay, so China, here is given this example, China. So China goods pose a big threat to Indian manufacturer. Why? Because Chinese products are available at a very low price. Okay, so this is the reason after new economic policy Indian traders suffers a lot, because they are not able to produce goods at a cheap price. Okay, next is lack of infrastructure फैसिलिटी. सो जितना बड़ा हमारा कंट्री है, जितनी इसकी रिक्वायरमेंट है, उस हिसाब से हमारी गवर्नमेंट ने इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेवलपमेंट नहीं किया है. तो रिजल्ट इज़ दैट कि production process become more expensive for private sector, and because of that they are not able to produce goods as a cheap price. If you talk about China, so they have introduces special economic zone. Okay, and they implemented all rule and regulation. Result is that they are able to produce goods at a very low price. If you talk about the India also established a special economic zone, but in that area also there is not basic facility available. So this is the reason कि Indian traders suffer a lot. So there are lack of infrastructure facility. Infrastructure is related to what? Power supply, road, dam, electricity, skilled labor. Okay, now non-tariff barrier by developed country. सो इनिशियली आई हैड टोल्ड यू ना कि WTO का मेंबर इंडिया को होना चाहिए नहीं, वहाँ पे हमने डिस्कस किया था कि डेवलपिंग कंट्री ने सारे रिमूव कर दिए, सारे बैरियर्स रिमूव कर दिए, क्योंकि उन्हें लोन लेना होता था, लोन लेना होता है अपने डेवलपमेंट के लिए। दूसरी टाइप क्या है कि डेवलप्ड कंट्री, वो डेवलप्ड है, दे आर हैविंग लॉट ऑफ मनी, सो दे डोंट रिक्वायर लोन। ओके, सो दैट इज़ वाई उन्होंने अभी तक अपने इकोनॉमी को पूरी तरह से ओपन अप नहीं किया। सोचिए, डेवलपिंग कंट्री उन्होंने ओपन अप कर लिया, लेकिन डेवलप कंट्री उन्होंने ओपन नहीं किया। सो दिस इज़ वॉट, दिस इज़ चीटिंग। ओके, so that is here written, non-tariff barrier by developed country, all quota restriction on export of textile and clothing has been removed by India, but some developed country like USA, okay, have not removed their quota restriction on import of textile from India. So this is what, this is not in favor of developing country. Okay, now inefficient disinvestment policy. So गवर्नमेंट हैज़ ऑलवेज फिक्स्ड द टारगेट ऑफ डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट। डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट क्या होता है? शेयर, जब गवर्नमेंट जो है अपनी PSU का शेयर सेल करती है, तो इसी को हम डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट कहते हैं। ओके, सो डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट इज द प्रोसेस ऑफ सेलिंग शेयर ऑफ PSU। PSU मीन्स पब्लिक सेक्टर अंडरटेकिंग, यानी गवर्नमेंट फर्म की जब शेयर को सेल करती है तो दैट इज कंसिडर एज अ डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट। ओके, सो गवर्नमेंट डू डिसइन्वेस्टमेंट टू गेट मनी। क्यों करती है ऐसा? मनी को पाने के लिए। ओके, so for instance in 1998 to 99 the target was rupees 5000 crore, whereas government was able to mobilize rupees 5400 crore. Here is given some fact about this investment ki according to some scholar, this investment policy of government was not successful. Why? First is because because PSU is undervalued, okay, and sold to private sector. Second is given कि such proceeds from disinvestment were used to compensate shortage of government revenue. Means जो पैसे, जो मनी शेयर को सेल करने से मिलते हैं, वो गवर्नमेंट डेवलपिंग के लिए नहीं खर्च करती है, बल्कि उसे अपना सैलरी देने, एम्प्लॉयज़ को सैलरी देने के लिए, या डिफेंस गुड्स को ख़रीदने के लिए, लॉ एंड ऑर्डर को मेंटेन करने के लिए एक्सपेंड करती है। तो दिस इज़ द ड्रॉबैक। ओके, नेक्स्ट इज इनएफिशिएंट टैक्स सिस्टम। ओके, आपको पता ही है 1991 व्हेन वी अडॉप्टेड द न्यू इकोनॉमिक पॉलिसी, सो फर्स्ट इज दैट कि ऑल डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस, द रेट ऑफ डायरेक्ट टैक्सेस हैज़ बिन डिक्रीज्ड बाय द गवर्नमेंट। क्यों किया गया था? ताकि टैक्स चोरी नहीं हो, टैक्स इवेशन नहीं हो, बट दैट इज़ नॉट to curb the tax evasion, but it did not result in increase in tax revenue for the government. Okay, so tariff reduction decrease the scope for raising the revenue through the custom duty. Tax incentive provide to foreign investor to attract foreign investment, further reduce the scope for raising tax revenue. Okay, now spread of consumerism. Okay, in modern era when there are too much consumerism means everyone are running for purchasing goods and services. Okay, and this is result of because of our TV, because of print media, because of electronic media, and more than that because of Android set. So everyone are dying for purchasing goods and services. Okay, so result is that ki it encouraged a dangerous trend of consumerism in India, that is a developing country. There are still 21% people are living under the BPL. So वहाँ के लोग क्या कर रहे हैं? खरीद रहे हैं, चीज़ें खरीद रहे हैं। ठीक है, so this is not good for our economy. Next is unbalanced growth. Growth has been concentrated only to some selected area in service sector such as telecom, information technology, finance, entertainment, travel, hospitality, service, real estate, trade, rather than vital sector. So these are the sector there is too much increase. Okay, in service sector, especially these sector where we find too much increase after adopting new economic policy. But बेसिकली इंक्रीज किस में होना चाहिए था? बेसिकली इंक्रीज होना चाहिए था इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में, एग्रीकल्चर सेक्टर में, लेकिन उसमें नहीं हुआ है. सो दिस इज अनदर ड्रा बैक. एंड सच एज एग्रीकल्चर एंड इंडस्ट्री विच प्रोवाइड लिवलीहुड टू मिलियंस ऑफ पीपल ऑफ द कंट्री. सो देयर इज नॉट दिस दैट मच improvement. Okay, so thank you for today, and this chapter has over. This is very very important chapter. Okay, work hard student and try to understand because you have to give board examination. Okay, thank you.